Platinum X here again with Stranded Deep. I am on my way to my third island. Now, I did get lost. Like, that's the only other... There's my island of origin right there. And then... I guess it's that one right there. I've only been to two islands. This is my third island. But that's not entirely true because on my way back from my second island to the island of origin, somehow I got lost. And I did wind up on the outer ring, an island on the outer ring. By that I mean the center, the island of origin is always in the middle of the map. Then there's islands surrounding that, and then an outer ring of islands surrounding that. So that's what I mean by outer ring. I wound up, I guess, passing my island of origin, or maybe I just, well, I clearly went in the wrong direction, which I don't understand how happened, because when I get to a new island and set up camp, I always position my shelter pointing toward my island of origin. So I'll put my shelter like right here, pointing at that island. So again, I'm not exactly sure how I got lost or got turned around, whatever. But I wound up on an island on the outer ring. So the first thing I had to do was establish a camp. You know, I had to get some water going. I had to get, I had to rest. So I had to create a shelter and camp for food. I mean, I had to do the whole 9 yards. But when I mean set up camp, I mean shelter, water, and campfire. Now there is a trophy, or I think there's actually a few trophies for setting up campfires on multiple islands. I think 5 and then 10. So that's the first thing, always the objective. Now I do need to go ahead and eat this food. I brought me some smoked large meat so that I'm full on food now. So the first thing I need to do is cut me down one of these palm trees. Because I'm going to need these prawns and that coconut. And I had enough swings of this axe to do that. There's a snake right there. I didn't bring any spears with me. So we need to stay clear of the wildlife. Anytime there's an island with stone structures in the middle, or mountains, whatever you want to call them, there's going to be wildlife. If you go to an island that doesn't have that stone structure in the middle, like your island of origin, for example, the only wildlife are small crabs, which are not that dangerous. All right, so need to make sure I don't lose my place. See that ship mast sticking up out of the water right there? That's where I need to, that's what I need to remember as far as creating my shelter, remembering where my point of origin is, because in order to get the platinum trophy, there is a trophy for the entire going through the entire playthrough without using a compass. So again, creating your shelters, referencing you back to your point of origin helps with the whole navigation thing. So once again, not entirely sure how I got lost, but what I did after I set up camp, I was able to save it, exit out to the main menu, and then from the main menu you can view the cartographer, which shows you the map. Your point of origin is always the center of the map. Oh great, there's that big boar that'll attack you. That thing is dangerous. So once I did that and realized what island I wound up on, I was then able to navigate my way back to the island of origin. Okay, so enough of that. I do need to run around to gather sticks and stones. That was scary. Got some barrels on that ship. Now there should be a good bit of stones, and really the reason I had to go ahead and go to, and good, there's stone deposits. I need that. The reason I had to go to a third island, I was about to set up my farms. But when I went to make an ore, I mean not an ore, a hoe, you have to have a crude hoe in order to, you know, construct your farms. I didn't even have a single stone remaining on my island of origin, and there is only one stone remaining on the second island that I visited. So stones are a very limited resource that does not replenish. Oh good, more PP plant. So that is why I do not recommend using weapons like a bow, because in order to use a bow you have to have arrows. Well, an arrow requires the use, is that another snake? No. Requires the use of a stone tool, or a stone, or rock rather, to, for the arrowhead. So there's really not enough rocks. I mean, sure, once you gather them all from all the islands, once you've been on all the islands, gathered all the stones, sure, there's a lot of rocks. Sure. But not enough to be using a bow with, a stone required for the, arrowhead. That would be a very quick way to deplete all the stones in your playthrough. So yeah, I don't recommend using a bow and arrow for that reason, or even spears that, like refined spears, have stone spear tips, or you use a stone tool to create the spear tips. Those are good for specific reasons, like killing one of the sea monsters, because I do believe the refined spears, when thrown, does the most damage of any weapon in the game. So they do have their uses, but you want to use them like as sparingly as possible, because once again, stones are a very limited resource, or rocks rather, very limited resource, and do not replenish. Which it was good to see a stone deposit here that can be mined for more stone. Alright, enough talk. I'm gonna wind up, dehydrating and starving to death if I don't get my camp going. So the first thing we want to do is, well, I need more sticks. There's one. Nope, that's a frond. My axe really doesn't have... Well, what I can do is go ahead and make a stone tool, and use the stone tool to create me some sticks. Oh, and I did not mention, I believe I got the message just before I started the video, I have survived 31 days. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is create a campfire. And that right there should be my island of origin. So I'll put my shelter there. I really don't like putting my campfires. I'm gonna put my campfire over here. I don't like putting them in the grass. And then what I always do is make a meat smoker. So we might not be able to do the smoker just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and use the stones for that. And then let's go ahead and focus on water. Water still, so I need those other 3 stones for the water still. I've got enough for lashing. I got the fronds laying right over there. I got the coconut laying right over there. I need to find those cloths. Every island should have 2 cloths laying around the outskirts of the island. So on these rocks perhaps, we just need to run around again to grab those cloths. Now I do, once I get, well established and have plenty of resources, again, this is only the 3rd island I've visited. So I mean, technically I could have done it. I just have been focusing on other things. Like I was saying, of the 2 islands I've been to, there is only 1 rock between the 2 of them remaining. But rocks aren't required for cloth. So, point is, I like to make, like once I get the resources from a few islands, I should have enough to where I can actually start making new camp kits where I have everything I need to just go ahead and immediately start setting up camp as soon as I get to the island without having to scrounge around for the materials like I'm doing now, looking for these 2 cloths. A lot of times they are laying right next to each other. 1 cloth, 2 cloth, for example. Like both the islands, both the 2nd and now this being the 3rd island, both of the cloths have been literally right next to each other just like that. That's not always the case though. Sometimes you do have to continue looking around. But again, they're always like on the outer, outskirts of the island. It's not like they're hidden up near the, like under trees or anything. They're always laying on the rocks or somewhere along the beach, which, they're pretty easy to find. It's not like they're hidden or anything. What's hidden now? There we go. All right. Oh shit! I keep forgetting about that snake. Now, the last time I played this game, I guess the snakes, the night snakes, or the ones that are on the island, weren't poisoning you. The ones in the water were poisoning you, yes. But apparently there's been an update where they did fix the issue of night snakes. Most certainly do now poison you. So you do need to watch out for that. Because other than the night snakes on these islands with the stone structures in the middle, the only way to get poisoned was to go in the water. And there's several things in the water that will poison you. The only thing that would sometimes be on the surface is just outside the water, just right up on the beach. Sometimes those purple spiky starfish that'll poison you might be just outside the water, but they're always, along the edge of the water there. But there have been cases where I have seen them on the beach, just like I said, right outside the water. All right, so we've got a frond. Let's go ahead and get lashing and make our. Apparently, I'm gonna have to do this way. Coconut flask. Now I can go ahead and use that to get a drink of water, and still use that for my water still. Need another lashing, and now we can make our water still. Now, I did actually come with, you know, a good, you know, a handful of leaves in my hand is how I've been able to make my lashings without scrounging around for additional leaves. And again, that's what my starting kit would normally contain. A whole stack. I believe you can fit up to 24 in a stack in a container or in your inventory. So a stack of leaves, a stack of fronds, because both, what is it, this required one and your shelter will require the other, I think, 3 or 4. So each frond bunch at the top of a palm tree has 5 fronds. The shelter does require 4, and the water still requires 1. So one palm tree requires all 5 fronds to create both your shelter and your water still. So again, all you gotta do is cut down one palm tree. But again, I like to, in my starter kit, have a full, well, a stack of fronds is only 4. So what I would do is not break up the bunch when I cut down the trees. I would just cut off the top and keep the frond bunch together. That way I could fit a whole stack of the bunches in a container and then bust it up once I, you know, start making camp. That way, that's a much better way to transport a lot more fronds than going ahead and breaking them up into the individual leaves or branches, whatever you want to call them. And then of course a stack of sticks, a stack of rocks, you know, the basics for creating your starting camp, which is again the 3 buildings: campfire, shelter, and water still. Alright, so I need to go grab those other 4 fronds. They're still laying on the ground over here. And I'm kind of really glad that big boar seems to be stuck over there, because he would be extremely annoying if he was not stuck over there. And I do not have enough sticks. Yay! Isn't that fantastic? Alright, well, what I do have is a flashlight. So what I can do is I'm going to take that stone tool and chop down one of these little trees and get the other stick that I need. Good grief, man, are you serious? Alright. Now that we've got our fronds, our sticks, here's we need to make another lashing. And now we have everything we need for our shelter, which again was going, alright, there's that point of reference, and there's my island. So I'm going to put my shelter right here, pointing at that island. Craftsmanship leveled up. Awesome. Now I can make things, now I can pretty much make everything. Yes, I can make my bricks. These were all like level 5, the final level, I believe, of that craftsmanship. So bricks, I can now make bricks. I can now make a spear gun. Now, notice how the spear gun arrows do not require stone tips. As I was explaining earlier, stay away from bow and arrows. It's okay to make refined spears with those stone tips, but make sure you recover your spear. Don't throw them away and waste them. Make sure you're recovering them, and make sure you're saving them for these stronger opponents like the sea monsters. I wouldn't use refined spears to hunt sharks where you're throwing them in the water and then not being able to recover them. Because a lot of times I'm throwing spears underwater at sharks. If I miss, it's very unlikely that I'm going to recover that spear. I have. I have recovered them, and it's kind of funny how I recovered the last couple of spears, and they weren't even refined spears. They were just regular, one stick spears, crude spears. I just happened to be swimming around and happened to notice them laying on the ground, well, underwater. I'm like, hey, there's a spear I missed with. But again, most of the time, it's highly unlikely you're going to recover your spears if you're throwing them at sharks underwater. So again, I would stay away from doing that with refined spears because they do require a stone tip. Now the spear gun arrows requires a lashing and a stick. Well, the lashings you create from leaves. Leaves are replenishable. I mean, I make farms to farm leaves. The yucca tree, the yucca fruit, you make a farm using the yucca fruits from the yucca plants. I'll have a farm of 6, 9, depends on how, much to farm leaves. Because again, that's your replenishable resource, and that is what is required for water, and you can even use them on fire. Because sticks, wood, is actually not replenishable and a limited resource. There's only so many islands, there's only so many of those resources in your playthrough. So even sticks, which, I mean, there's plenty of, but it's not replenishable. Where the leaves are replenishable. So the spear gun arrows and the spear gun are the way to go, but it does require some scavenging. The duct tape and the air tanks, you'll normally find while you're scavenging ships. I do have an air tank, but I have not found the duct tape yet. So anyway, having said that, let's look at oh crap, I am completely out of water. Now I am out of leaves. Now again, the whole reason I'm on this island, the third one, before getting my farms going, because I was ready to start making my farms. Is I only had one stone. And it was on the other island, and instead of going back to that island just to get that one stone to make the hoe, I figured, well, I just need to go to another island and go ahead and gather up all the stones on that island. So again, I was very happy to see there is a stone deposit on this island. Alright, because of all the chit chat and jibber jabber, actually running low on food as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sleep, and then I'm going to get busy with the whole, surviving thing. Which I don't really have to sleep. It's not like I'm tired. But you kind of want to avoid that whole situation of having you're tired status effect, because you cannot run or sprint while you are tired. And being on an island like this where you've got that big boar right there, if that big boar did free himself and start chasing me, the last thing, and what would get me killed, is not being able to run from it. Because my axe only has a couple of hits left, and I just destroyed my stone tool. That was not cool. Again, I would have waited. I would have rather have saved that last hit and then used that stone tool to make another axe, not let the stone tool get destroyed. So again, that's something you have to pay attention to and be careful of, to not waste your stones and wind up destroying your stone tools because the stone tools are to make other like your axes and stuff. So it takes 2% from the durability with each strike. So with every stone tool you can do 49 hits, but save that last hit, don't do it. That way you can use that stone tool to make an axe, which requires 2 stone tools that I now only have 1 of because I was not paying attention. And not paying attention is most definitely the difference between death and survival. Or rather, I should say, paying attention is what makes the difference on survival versus not paying attention equaling death, because there's a snake right there. I did find there is 2 PP plants on this island, I believe I saw. So even if I was to get poisoned, I would have the necessary ingredients for the antidote. But let's just avoid that and not get poisoned, shall we? All right, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, well, there's another one. Now, usually the noise will kick in a... I don't need to be getting close to that thing either. Getting close to it, or getting anywhere near it, would be one way to free it from its little issue there. Alright, so I need food. I did bring... a fishing spear with me. Again, I always look for the archers because they drop medium meat, not small meat. And the medium meat is really the core of your food supply. Small meat is too small, it takes too much to get full. And then large meat is too large. And I don't like getting so low that I need large meat, because in order to be healthy and replenish any lost health if you're wounded, you have to be in the 6th and 7th bar. You can't have more than 2 empties. Once you deplete those that second to last bar and you're down to your 5 bars, you're not healthy anymore and you do not heal missing health. So medium meat, hey look, survived 33 days. Medium meat is, oh shit, I got a shark on me. Medium meat replenishes about 2.5, well, depending on your skill. It replenishes more as your cooking goes up, I believe. You replenish more health, but it basically starts off, oh good, another stone. Starts off replenishing 2 squares. Mine at my cooking level right now replenishes about 2.5 squares. Oh crap, there's a snake. Where is it? There it is right there, okay. Alright, let's get cooking here. Tool belts are great. I've got my skinning knife, a flashlight, and kindling in my tool belt. So what's great about putting kindling in your tool belt is you never have to make more than one kindling. Or if you've already made more than one, you don't have to make any more once you stick it in your tool belt. You just have to remember not to drop it on the ground. If you drop it on the ground, well, it's no longer in your tool belt. Okay, fire pits still only get one meat. So we'll have to just cook these one at a time. But I'm pretty much going to be eating them all anyway. There's the snake I'm wandering on over here. So I didn't bring any spears with me. Well, I did bring my hunting spear. But that's for, not hunting spear, but fishing spear. Oh wait, that's already on the ground. But I don't really want to throw that. It takes, last time I killed a snake, it took 3 spears to kill it. It might only take 2 with my current hunting level. But I only have 1 fishing spear and don't want to throw it at something that I know isn't going to kill it in one hit. Now those crabs, on the other hand, those are easy to kill. You just have to get behind them, and they're normally running away from you while you're stabbing them in the back. So what I do is I go into the water. They don't normally come into the water. And then once they turn, hey, there's another stone. And then once they turn around where I get behind them, then you just chase after them. Because they rarely turn around.
Gross.
Here's the other one. And fishing spears, like, fishing does not... Killing fish with your fishing spear, or any weapon for that matter, does not hurt its durability. So, now this crab is definitely hurting its durability, but since I'm mostly going after fish with the fishing spear, not that big a deal that I'm taking some durability damage to it.
Oh, gross.
Alright, now we got plenty of food, we just need to get it going on the fire. And that food is ready. Put my knife away before I do something stupid and hit somebody with it and destroy it. Another rock. Stick. Seems like it might have been closer to run the other way. Now what stinks is cooked meat winds up in the same stack as raw meat. I wish they would have called it raw meat, because this says cooked meat, so that it would stack differently. You want to make sure you're eating the cooked meat, not the raw meat. Okay, so we got water, we got food. Can't make a smoker without another cloth, and I've already used both cloths, one for that and one for the shelter. So I need one for a smoker. Maybe on one of these ships I'll find a piece of cloth. Oh wait, I already got one. Where did I get that? Oh wait, does the water still requires a cloth. The shelter does not require a cloth. Okay, so 2 cloths is enough for a water still and a smoker. I just need a lashing, which I have plenty of leaves for. So let's go ahead and make us a smoker. This way, once the meat is smoked. Alright. Is it because there's meat cooking on it? What's up? Yes, it was because meat was cooking on it. You can fit up to 6 meat, 5 hanging, which that will smoke. The one down here on the fire will not smoke, it will cook. So after everything's done, you want to eat that one on the fire that's cooked and save the other ones that are smoked, because once they're smoked, they do not spoil. Alright, well I mean we got established on the 3rd island. We've survived 32 days. I'm in I mean I still need, I mean I got plenty of food cooking, so I mean it's pretty clear, you know, in the safe, you know, I'm established here. I got my camp set up, I got everything, I got water working, I got food working, got my shelter. Now we just have to focus on making additional tools to start harvesting the resources. I'm gonna have to make another pick. I don't have another pick to, I did see 1 stone deposit, so I can at least, you know, get some more stone. I just have to make sure and make the hoe before I use up the stones on other stuff. There should be plenty of stone on this island, even with that 1 stone deposit. That should give me, you know, enough stones to, you know, get done what I want done, and not have to, and not still be working with 1 stone between all my islands. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and you know, survive, stay alive.